Paradise Valley, what is going on? 2024 is upon us, and as you can see, we're missing our host. So I'm in unfamiliar ground right now, but we felt like we had to get a show across to the team before week two. So much has happened since draft night. So we got your boy here as well as Dap. What's going on, my brother?
What's going on? Valley 2024, one weekend.
1 week in, same story for the Dap man. Team's injured, staring down the barrel of a clown suit. But the reason we're getting together, we're going to do a quick show here, but Dap's got a lot to say about some messages being sent in the chat and just some disrespect and some teams thinking they're better than they are in Dap's term. But we'll get there. I think we do a quick recap of I was doing some research. Basically, our co-host or our main host, Caleb, wasn't able to pull through this week, but we're gonna do some top draft picks, sleepers, stuff like that. Dab was gonna put some slides together. Since I did some research, I figure I'll go through them quickly, give some people some feelings on some good picks, bad picks, sleepers, and then we can jump into last week. Dap, I don't know if you have any top picks or draft picks you thought that were worth highlighting. I got my list. Again, you got to take into hindsight 2020. Obviously, we have week one results, and I couldn't not let that factor in. But Cooper Cup, 41st pick. I was talking with D Brown. He was thinking about trading him. The fact that, I mean, if we redrafted right now, I think he's going top 10, if not like top seven. Obviously, the Puka Nakua news, and he's going to be out a while. But I mean, that guy was getting fed on Sunday night. Any thoughts on that, Deb?
Yeah, I mean, he looked good. My only thing with him is how healthy can he stay?
For sure.
like D Brown said, he's looking like 2021 Puka or Cooper Cup, but especially without Puka there, that's gonna help. But the man's old. Who knows
He
how
is.
healthy he can stay?
I even one of the podcasts I listened to was like, can he take? I mean, he had 14 catches. That means he's getting tackled 14 times a game, unless he's
Yeah.
scoring or going out of bounds. Like that's a lot of wear and tear on the body. So, but I mean, the
But he looked
connection's
good.
always been there. So yeah, it's some value there. I got to go with a quick homer pick. Rasheed Rice, he looked great last Thursday. Um,
I mean,
Patrick Mahomes, possible top target. Like that's some value there at 56.
yeah, I mean, I made a joke in the chat earlier when you said that was a homer pick, but he looked great. It looks like he's his top target. I mean,
He's looking
Worthy
explosive.
Worthy got some good looks too, but it looks like consistently it's going to be Rushy.
For sure. I didn't put Kelsey on my worst picks, but he was considered because I don't know. I mean, you never know. It's same shit with Stafford and Cup, the Mahomes Kelsey combination. But Kelsey's old. It feels like he's focused on this next step in his life of getting famous with podcasts and getting on TV shows and being Taylor Swift's husband. So,
Yeah,
but
I
my last best pick, I got James Conner, 64th. The Cardinals are running the rock a lot, and
uh,
I mean that's a lot of touches. I mean, it's hard to dislike Lane's running back room. Like that's a deep RB room right now. And Connor, what's that? Seventh round, sixth round. That's some value.
yeah. I mean, as a as a Benson owner, I just Connor, a little injury prone. Maybe something happens to him. Never wish it on a guy. He's on my one of my other teams, so I don't want it to happen. But Benson
Yeah,
could be looking.
especially it's like how long can you hold on to Benson before he's just
I
useless?
mean, with my lineup, not very long.
I'll rip through these worst picks. I got Rashad White, 42nd. Just not liking what I'm seeing. Bucky Irvin got some touches. Even White last year, he wasn't productive in the rushing game. I think he had like terrible metrics. He's a pass catcher. He caught a lot of passes the other day. I mean, Washington's defense looks like cheese. So I don't love that there. This might be a questionable one, but Jalen Hurts at 30, like, I mean, the fact that you I understand the whole tush push and him scoring a shit ton of rushing touchdowns, but his quarterback play has never impressed me that much. And if you were gonna go for a runner, why not go with Lamar or Josh Allen? I mean, Josh Allen, I feel like was the clear number one. And then the fact that he goes, what, 20, 25 picks before the next QB and the likes of Mahomes, um, Jackson, Allen, some of these other guys, Richardson, it just felt like Sheehan has always reached a little bit on QB. So I think that could come back to bite him. And my last draft pick was we did a sleeper. I like Brock Bowers, 115. I think he could be some tight end value there, especially the two of us right here, Dap. We waited on tight end and we kind of passed on him. And it feels like, damn, I wish I picked him as the ninth tight end off the board.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. He it would have been nice to have like a reliable tight end instead of streaming between Schultz and Komet, but I waited. Sand didn't think Sand would take a backup tight end, but he did. I agree with Hertz though. Hertz, I mean, lost the heart and soul of that offensive line. They went out and got Saquon, so you think maybe he's going to take some of those Russian TDs away from Hertz, and it looks like he did. I mean,
Hmm.
tough knowing that he took him at 30 and then the next QB didn't go until 45, like, and it was Allen. I don't know. Sheehan, like you said, Sheehan is usually the first guy to take a QB off the board, but
Yeah, tough spot with the whole him being on the turn, so he knows it's whatever 20,
yeah.
what is it, 20 picks. So I think he might have chose wrong, but it's early. We'll see. But let's dive into week one. I feel like overall it wasn't outside of my matchup on Monday night. I feel like it didn't become too competitive. Little did we know the D Brown Kirch matchup got real interested on Sunday night because of the whole CMC news. But um, overall, it felt like some solid performances and some ugly ones. Some people, Lane 106. I think that was third highest score. Didn't get a W. That's tough. Bloody Sundays. What is that, like fifth or sixth, maybe seventh? Like sneaking by with a win. But overall, you know, I feel like I'm into what Lane's team is putting together. Obviously, I was going head to head, so I saw a lot of it. But the fact that Jaden Daniels is going to slide in for Jordan Love there, and that RB room is dynamite. I think Lane's got a solid playoff team, and he knows from podcast past. I'm one to shit on his team. I'd have to kind of dive into the other ones, but any like takeaways you got?
Yeah, I mean, I like Lane's team. Unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, I like the Nest. Like they look like they got a good squad. I mean, just these three again, Aaron Jones is a guy that like I don't know how reliable. Like the Giants suck. So I don't know if we can take that 18 points for what it is, but again, the only thing I'd say about the Nest is these his top three performers right here, all three of them very injury prone guys. But if he can stay healthy, I think he's got a good team.
For
Uh,
sure.
I mean, Trippers made a late push. I mean, he got a little close with no CMC there, but again, like Rashad White, I agree. I don't love that. I think Bucky takes over that backfield by the end of the year. And obviously he's not gonna have Ford in like 3 weeks. So
And if you just look at those top three, Jackson, he scored a shit ton of late points in that game, but he looked good running the ball, not so passing. But Ford, he got like the most garbage time TD in the world, and White had a bunch of like passes against the bad. Um, I don't know. I think that the Trippers, he'll make some moves, but he's got some room for improvement there. And then the Bakers would be a top team right now if there wasn't the CMC news. I think that's when you go and we'll dive into it and you see Jalen Warren as the RB2 for this week, that's cause for concern.
I mean, there's people saying he's got like Achilles tendonitis, and that could be a long injury.
But I feel like we got to talk about some of the duds. Sandman, or we'll start with Dim. I mean, 53.
Cool.
That is quite the week. And I mean, I don't think his team's as bad as that. Just diving into looking to him our matchup this week, but the Cowboys got a massive lead, didn't really have to pass a ton. But Andrews, I mean, I think that's going to linger for a little bit, and likely he's playing good. I don't think they're going to rush him back. Mostert's hurt. Kirk looked like crap. DeAndre Swift, I don't know about that as an RB2. So I think there's a lot of questions. And the whole Chris Olave experience, I went through that. Guy's got talent. He gets a lot of targets, but it just feels like Derek Carr always hits Rashid Shaheed deep for a TD, and it's not Olave. So
Yeah.
um, tough week for tough week for now the Reapers, but formerly the Dogs.
I also think it looked pretty clear on Sunday that HN has taken over as RB1 in that backfield. I
Yeah,
mean,
but I mean, yeah, for sure. But Mostert, I just Achan's already hurt. Like, I just feel
they're
like
both hurt. I mean, they're
that's a
both
that's
very injury
yeah.
prone guys, but even like felt like start of the game though, like first like I think 10 snaps I saw were all HN out there. So I don't know. I mean, he had a little bit of hope from the bench with Worthy. Like if Mahomes can even just hit Worthy like once on a deep shot a game, like that's worth starting him. But
Yeah, he's got a couple. I feel like Watson right now, probably not with Love hurt, but just a couple of guys that you could throw in there that they could hit those big shots or they could have very unproductive days. So we'll see. I got the Reapers this week. I think the good transition to dive. Let's dive into next week's matchup because I think the next two duds are both you and Sandman. And as Sandman does, he comes off a loss and he starts chirping in the group. And I guess I'll start with it. It is looking gloomy for you, Dap. Just from the outside, you know, the injury sucks for sure, but it is the same injury he came into the season with. So it's like maybe you reached a little bit in the second round, or maybe there could have been some other wideouts you grabbed there. But overall, it's Zamir White. That was actually, now that I think about it, the draft pick I had Rashad White. I said Rashad White. I meant Zamir White, and then I still didn't love Rashad White, but I don't think he was. It was the same draft pick that I said.
he was
Zero.
Rashad White was taken like 2 rounds ahead of Zamir White.
Yeah, so I screwed that up, but I meant Zamir White. So the floor is yours. Let us know how you feel. Go off.
I mean, one, I just want to say I've never heard someone shit on somebody so much when their team was the second lowest scorer in the league. Sandman's out here talking like he just put up 110 when he dropped a 73. I outscored him with my second round draft pick going down in the second quarter after what, one catch or two catches. Like, I just the man acts like he's got a squad here, and I just look at it and I see a bunch of empty projections that are never going to come to fill. Kyron
Wow.
Williams was projected for 19 this week. Like,
Crazy projection.
I
I
just,
saw that.
I saw that and I threw up in my mouth a little bit. Like, the guy is splitting carries. It looks like they're back to the Rams pass heavy offense with Cooper Kupp just getting a lot of targets. I mean, one thing I'll say is Amon Ra had an underwhelming week for him, which I don't expect to happen again. But
I see a bounce back.
but Jamison Williams might be looking better in that offense, taking away some targets. I mean, they've got a lot of mouths now to feed with Amon Ra, Jamison Williams, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, like David Montgomery. That's a
A
lot
lot of
of
quality
mouths to
fantasy
feed.
players for
Yeah.
sure.
And I mean, Michael Pittman is Alec Pierce A Rich's guy? Like, kind of looked like it. Pitti didn't get a whole lot of looks on Sunday against
It
a
was
not that good defense.
I
Like,
know. It was funny though, because I watched it at Sandman's and he had we were way behind D Brown, who said something about like A Rich having a rocket arm. So we knew an A Rich TD was coming. We didn't know who it was, and he was screaming, Pat Man, and it was Pierce. But I mean I agree. I think last week was tough. Like Amon Ra, I doubt he goes like under 7 anytime again this season. But I mean, is Drake London just not good? Like I have him in other leagues, and the hype is there, and you wanted to think it was just like Arthur Smith and the bad QB play, and it could just be like week one, Kirk Cousins,
I
good
mean, the
defense for the
Steelers' defense
Steelers.
was unreal.
So, but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't put fear in like you look at this team and it doesn't put fear into me, in
I
my
mean,
opinion. And I think the talk a lot more bark than bite from the Sandman as usual.
that's what I mean. I just 110 looking at this squad, I just don't see it. I mean, again, like even Calvin Ridley, like with Will Levis, did not look very good. Like I mean, and Josh Jacobs now with no love. Like, are they just gonna be keying on the run? I just
Yeah.
I don't see the 110 this week from San. I could be wrong, but I don't
Yeah,
see.
I feel like it's a little bit over projected, but I mean, regardless, this is a big one. I think you gotta
Oh, I,
whoever. Oh, and you don't want to start Owen anything, but 0-2 losing to another 0-1 team that hurts. You want to stay in the pack as quick as possible. Big night for Tyreek. I feel like he's got to carry this squad in the absence of Nakua.
oh, I mean, I need probably like realistically, I need 20 plus out of him if I want any chance. But he didn't get thrown in handcuffs down on the ground before this game, so at least not yet. We're filming it 2 hours before kickoff, but I'm hoping that he can have a good week. I mean, Tua has historically struggled against the Bills, which I don't love, but Reek always gets his.
We're hoping for a shootout tonight. But let's do that. This was mostly what we wanted to do the pod for. Dap had some stuff he wanted to say. But let's just do a quick rapid fire of the other matchups. I think Dim and I we've talked about. We can dive in on the Ness. Who's this Ness Bloody
That's
Sunday?
bloody.
I mean, this is a big one for to see if Achan plays. Caleb said it in the group. His bench is kind of weak right now. I think there's some moves to be made there. But another guy with massive projections is Bijan Robinson. What's the total? 111, 111. Looks like it's going to be a dogfight. You touched on Mac's team. I think it's got the potential right now. Don't love the final flex spot with Javante, and it'll be interesting if he sticks with Pitts over likely, just knowing the bias that man has. But this feels like it'll be pretty tight. I'm going to give the slight edge to I don't even know. I haven't done enough research. I'm gonna say C-Mac, but it's a coin toss in my opinion.
I'm gonna give it to C-Mac just because if HN doesn't play, I'm gonna give it to C-Mac. I think if HM plays, it maybe goes the other way. But I mean, one thing I didn't mention when I was talking about C-Mac's team before that I forgot is he's got this guy, Nick Chubb, just sitting on the IR. When he comes back, he could fill in that flex too pretty
For
nicely.
sure.
I
For
mean,
sure, man.
the Nets could turn into a scary team. I mean, Barkley looks like he's on the revenge tour right now, and I hate to see it.
Yeah. And I mean that's the best O line he's ever played with, and he's never had, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith to worry like have other defenses to worry about. So I think it could
Yeah.
be a big year, but that guy's a fucking rolled ankle away as I've seen many years. We got the Bakers Silver Knights 107.98. Yikes. I don't know what's low on that. Probably the Jalen
Jalen
Warren.
Warren.
I
I
will say
mean,
about D Brown, I don't Joe Burrow just seems off. I'm not a big Joe Burrow guy. He's like cocky as hell. And I mean he had that one good year and they went to the Super Bowl, but I just feel like
seems like a lot like Sandman. A lot of bark, no bite.
yeah. But I don't know. I mean, Cup, Kelsey, the part that scares me about D Brown's team is a lot of I guess you could say not top options. Tank Dell might be wide receiver three in his offense. Smith is definitely number two. Jalen Warren's arguably he's definitely RB2 right now. So he needs it's CMC. You throw CMC in that lineup, it's a completely different team. So we'll see what happens there. He spent a lot of fab on Tank Bigsby and who was the other guy? Gabe Davis, the
You
two
went on
Jags.
Gabe
So
Davis.
we'll see there. And then with Sheehan, Sheehan had some big days last week. Again, I don't love Hurts, but Mixon looks productive. Ramondre looks productive. He's got a solid wide receiver room. So, Sheehan, I just feel like year in, year out, he'll put together a productive team. So I'm going to naturally give the edge to Sheehan, but I think if CMC plays, it's a completely different story.
I mean, the one thing about D Brown's team that's gotta hurt is through 3.9 quarters of football, it looked like Jaden Reed was about to be the number one option for Love, and then you hate to see Love go down for him because he was looking Reed's way all night long, and
Yeah. I feel like the Packers will still get him the ball, but
they
it's not Jordan
will,
Love. It's
but
Malik Willis. So
it still hurt. It still hurts when you got a wideout that loses their number one, that loses their quarterback. I mean, guy put up 30 points. I don't see that happening without Jordan Love.
for sure. All right. Why not just do all of them? I'll rip through this one and then you can do my matchup. Let's see. We got Lane. Again, big fan of Lane. I think Derrick Henry had a bad game script. He did look slow, he did look old, but again, I think it's a bad game script, and he'll get some more touchdowns there. I do not like the wide receiver room for Kirch. Pickens as your wide receiver one. Keenan Allen's already hurt. Pretty sure he dropped a TD the other day. I could quickly see him falling as the wide receiver three in that room. So I'm not loving Kirch's team. I still think the talent's he's got some big names. Laporta had an off night, so he could bounce back there. But oh wow, 117 for Lane. Brees Hall is another like some of these projections were out of control this week. I don't know what Mike Clay was doing, but this room is it's special. Lane's got a team. If Devontae Adams churns along as a productive wide receiver too, it could be a historic year for the Tiers. Like I'm not completely sold on Daniels. I think the game script, he was down. He stole two fucking TDs from my guy Robinson at the 1 yard line, but and his helmet was coming off all the time. Like it's not sustainable play, but that's what all the fucking experts were saying. He was gonna rush a ton and get a ton of fantasy points. So
Yeah.
um
I mean,
it's
he's got the
Love
G-Man.
goes down and then he gets Daniels. So that's a good sub in right there.
And like a
I got the Tiers in a big W, possibly highest score.
he's got the G-Man this week too, so that's a good pickup. Like just saw how Sam Darnold tore apart the G-Man defense. You got to think a more capable quarterback is going to be even worse, but
Could be a long year for the G-men.
yikes. All right, last matchup, Dim Reapers, Darkstorm Militia. I mean, I don't think the projections tell the tale that I see in this game. I like Dak, I like Pacheco, and I like CD, but DeAndre, like again, that game script I think isn't going to work in his favor. I think Houston's going to put up points and they're going to be trying to keep up. Uh, Olave again, especially against that Dallas defense. Like, don't love that matchup.
Swallow him up, Diggs.
That's going to be check down Derek Carr all day against that defense. Mark Andrews, we talked about a little earlier, looking old, looking like he's coming off that injury still. I mean, he does have Worthy in there this week, which again, a big boom or bust guy. I think he's either gonna get that 60-yard touchdown or he's not. So, and I mean, Ayuk obviously is great. So
He
he's
looked a little
gonna be,
rusty on Monday.
yeah, a little, but he's coming off some contract talks, getting
Yeah,
back into it. Like, I think he's if he wants a chance at this game, he's gonna need those four guys to have big games between Prescott, Pacheco, CD, and Ayuk. I mean, CD again had a quiet day against Cleveland because they didn't really need to throw the ball, but we'll see how that pans out against New Orleans. I mean, your squad, obviously, Josh Allen looked, everyone was wondering how he was going to look without his targets, and it looks like he's just going to be running the ball more, if anything, and
We love it.
running it into the end zone, especially. Like, he looked like an absolute monster out there. I mean, JJ, once again, proving he's quarterback proof with Sam Darnold. The guy gets his touches.
That was a bad game script too, because they were like running it the whole second half.
Yeah, but I mean, he'll get his Waddle again. Don't necessarily love the matchup with Buffalo. Like I said, Tua tends to struggle against Buffalo, but as a Tyreek Hill owner, we're hoping that they flip that script this year. B Rob, if the Giants' rush defense looks anything like it did last week, B Rob's gonna have a day. And then Kenny just continues to get fed. I mean, when the guy's healthy, I think he's a top five running back in fantasy. Like he just, they feed him the ball. I mean, Gino took a rushing TD away from him last week, and he still got his. Big question for Darkstorm Militia this year is what
Yep.
is Maserati Marv going to be like?
I know.
There's always already some contention between him and Kyler, even though he was wide open. I think I saw like
Yeah, one of them,
five
but he
different.
looked.
There was like five different clips of him being wide open, running towards the end zone, and Kyler like scrambling for 4 yards or something. And
Yeah, I mean, a big reason we picked him so early was there was no competition for targets. Talent was there, but he looks that stat D Brown sent felt accurate. Like he looked slow. I think what's big for us is, I mean, right now on paper we have a deep team. Just like looking at some of the lower projections, like decisions we can make. If Dobbins can keep playing like that, that will solve the lack of RB room that we had. But tight end's a fucking issue. I mean, no doubt about it. Right now, I mean, I don't know if Ferguson's playing. We got some scrub from the waiver wire sliding in. We had a deal in the inbox for Pitts, but we didn't want to pull the trig just yet. We think we can survive a few weeks, but I don't know. Dim's a competitor. I feel a bounce back this week. I could see it being close, but if we get off to a good start tonight with Allen and Waddle, then watch out,
yeah,
watch out, Mister Dim.
I'm giving this one to the Darkstorm Militia. But like I said, if Dim can have some boom games from his top picks, I think he's got a chance.
For sure. Last note I want to say is it is funny. Not only did D Brown get slapped with the number one overall pick, just getting ripped out of him on Monday Night Football, but I mean, CMC plays, he easily cashes highest scores.
Oh,
So, I mean, he loses CMC, he barely wins, he's got a struggle going forward, and he gets $50 ripped away from him. So, the Baker's got to survive. But, I mean, good show here. We just wanted a quick one, and here we are, probably like 30 minutes deep, but we know the Valley. We know our fans wanted to hear it. We missed our host. But I mean, we'll see what the feedback says. This could be like a Brady stepping in for Bledsoe situation. Caleb may never get that job back.
I don't know about that. We'll see. Boys were a
All
little
right.
lost without their host at the beginning, but yeah, I'll just final comment. Fuck Sam, man. I think his team's trash. I think he's talking a whole lot of shit for a guy that's about to get slapped by the worst team in the league. So we're out for vindication this year.
I said it in the chat. This game screams clown suit implication. So
Whoa.
all right. Well, everyone have a good week
Weekend.
too, and we'll see you in the group chat.
Peace out, Valley.
Wishing you well. This is my man, if you couldn't tell. This is our life and we living it well. Late nights in the city causing hell. Burn this bitch into the ground, oh well. For all we got tonight, let's do this right. Let's do this right. Let's go to paradise. This shit be like Friday night.